Kidnapping of Angela Hammond. Angela Marie Hammond was last seen in Clinton, Missouri on April 4th, 1991 at 11:45 p.m. She was at a telephone booth outside a Food Barn store talking to her fiancé, Rob Schaefer. Over the phone, Hammond told Schaefer that she was too tired to meet up with him, and she was planning on going home and taking a bath. At the time, Schaefer was 7 blocks away from her, babysitting his little brother. She told Schaefer that she saw a suspicious man circling the parking lot in an old truck. She described him as a filthy, bearded man. She said his car was parked and that he had gotten out with a flashlight. He then approached the phone booth and she asked him if he needed to use the phone. He said no and proceeded on. Hammond continued her conversation with Schaefer, but the man came back. Schaefer heard Hammond scream and the line went dead. Her car was found abandoned in the parking lot. Schaefer drove to the phone booth as soon as he heard the scream and passed a 1960s-70s green Ford F-150 pickup truck and heard Hammond scream his name. Schaefer then turned around and followed the vehicle for about a mile, but his own car's transmission failed. Schaefer described the truck the same as Hammond and said that there was also a decal on the back rear window with a fish jumping out. He said the truck had a possible white top and damage to its front left fender. Witnesses said that they saw a Caucasian male seen driving a similar truck near the phone booth, wearing coveralls and a dark baseball cap. They said he had eyeglasses, a beard, and a mustache. At the time of her disappearance, Angela Marie Hammond was 20 years old. She was born on February 9th, 1971, but disappeared on April 4th, 1991. At the time of her disappearance, she was about 4'11" to 5 foot and around 120 to 140 pounds. She was a Caucasian female, brown hair, brown eyes, and had teeth that were in excellent condition. Her nickname was Angie. She had a scar on her upper lip and wore contacts. She was wearing a white button-down, black slacks, and white sneakers. She was also 4 months pregnant when she disappeared. She worked in a bank and she attended Central Missouri State University. No one has seen Angie since.
Oh, hi, Robbie, baby. So I think I'm too tired to see you again tonight. I've had a long night. I'm gonna go home and take a bath. Robbie, wait. There's a truck circling the phone booth. I don't know, but he looks like a filthy bearded man. Yeah, oh, he's walking over here, Rob. Do you want to use the phone booth, sir?
No, get in the car, get in the car! Ah! Ah! Get in the car! Get in the car! Get in the car! No! Stop the car! Stop the car! Sir, oh my God, sir! They took my fiance, sir! They took my fiance!
Calm down, what happened? Tell me what happened.
I was on the phone.
What happened?
I was on the phone with my fiance.
Yes.
And all of a sudden, I heard a scream. Oh my God, we have to find her. We have to find
Tell me
her.
what happened? What were you talking about on the phone?
So, we were gonna meet up,
Yeah.
but she called me to tell me that she's gonna go to the house and stuff. She's too tired to do anything. She's gonna go take a bath or something.
All right.
And then
what happened? What happened after that?
she told me that some guy was circling around.
What did you see the guy at all? What did he look like?
No, she told me that it was an old guy, maybe 40s or 50s. Had a beard, a baseball cap. He,
Hey, sir, what's your name?
my name Rob Schaefer.
All right, and you saw the vehicle that she was in?
Yes.
All right, what was that vehicle?
It was an old green truck with a fish decal on the back windshield.
All right. So, did you see the abduction happen?
Yes, I did.
Did you get a description of the abductor?
Yeah, it was a bearded man with glasses,
Do you know how old?
around 60.
Yep.
All right, what kind of vehicle did you see?
A green Ford pickup with a fish decal on the rear window.
And where did it go?
It went right up the street.
What time did this happen?
About 11:30. There is an impact with almost every crime that happens, including the Angela Marie Hammond case. The crime impacts the family and close friends emotionally. For example, Rob Schaefer and Angela Hammond were engaged, and Hammond was 4 months pregnant. So the abduction of Hammond probably had a huge impact on the life of Rob Schaefer. Schaefer was looking forward to a life with his soon-to-be wife and child, and now has to grieve the loss of his fiancée and the unborn child. Also, the parents of Hammond were given the news that their daughter and maybe grandchild were both kidnapped and missing. Hammond's friends were left without her, and sometimes friends can be a support system in a relationship, and with a kidnapping, that could really dysfunctionalize the feelings of Hammond's friends. Another huge impact with this crime is that it is still an unsolved mystery. So all of the people that were affected by the crime will not have closure that they would probably have liked to have. Finally, another effect that the crime creates is panic throughout the community, knowing that there is still a criminal on the loose and other people could be in danger. The investigators on the Angela Marie Hammond case tried to link other murders to this case, which in the long run failed. They did find 2 cases that could be similar, but were not really related in any major way. They did a computer search on all registered vehicles that matched the color and description, including if they had any decals, but no matches could be made to the pickup that allegedly took Hammond. No witnesses were able to back up Rob Schaefer's testimony, so he soon became a suspect. His family members were interviewed, and everyone said that they would never suspect Rob. He took a polygraph test and it was cleared within a week. Soon enough, rumors of a serial killer spread across Clinton, Missouri, and citizens of the town gathered to search. Reports were made on the ongoing investigation, but it is still unsolved today.
For 18 years now, detectives could be closer to breaking the case of Angela Hammond. KMBC 9's Marcus Moore has new information in the Missouri mystery. Marcus?
Laura, 20-year-old Angela Hammond stopped at a payphone in Clinton, Missouri, and you just talked about it. She was on the phone with her fiancé when she told him that a strange man was circling the parking lot in a truck. It was the last time anyone heard from Hammond, who police tonight fear may have been murdered.
The hardest part is the not knowing.
It's been a long 18 years for Chris Hammond and his family, left with just memories and these photos of his daughter Angela.
She was just a fun-loving girl that loved to be around people.
But on the night of April 4th, 1991 in Clinton, Missouri, someone kidnapped Hammond from this phone booth. In fact, she was on the phone with her fiancé, Rob Schaefer, saying a suspicious truck was circling the parking lot.
A little time later, Rob hears Angela scream on the telephone.
Hammond's been missing ever since and feared dead. Now, 18 years later.
This would have been the corner of the old food barn parking lot. That's where that pair of phone booths would have sat.
Right on the corner.
Right there on the corner.
Clinton Police Detective Paul Abbott says they have new momentum in the case.
It's safe to say that we do have some evidence of a DNA nature.
Detective Abbott's been working the case since 1995 and says through new technology,
we've discovered that there is a possibility that we may have some physical evidence from the original crime scene that's still preserved and may have viable evidence that can lead us to a suspect in this case.
A case that has gripped and for some even changed the feel of this small town.
Prior to this, no one ever thought that anything like that could happen.
And on the 18th anniversary of her disappearance and news of some possible new leads, it is a bit of encouragement to Hammond's family.
Just a case where we want to get something resolved so that we can kind of get some peace, kind of get past it.
And from the very beginning, police investigating this case believe that Hammond's disappearance may have been connected to the murders of 2 other women. Tonight, police have been able to rule out that possibility. And tonight, they're urging anyone with information in this case to call the Clinton, Missouri Police Department. That number is at the bottom of your screen. Reporting live tonight, I'm Marcus Moore, KMBC 9 News.
A sociopath is a person with a personality disorder manifesting itself in extreme antisocial attitudes and behavior and a lack of conscience. What is it that leads a person to kidnap or kill someone else? Is it letting the kidnapper or killer think it's okay to do something, from the glorification of violence through TV, video games, and movies? Or is it the publicity that such awful criminals get? Most of the criminals are out to get attention, no matter what, if it's good or bad. There are many theories on why people become killers. Some of these reasons are that the killers want to feel in control of everything that is happening around them. Another theory is that sometimes it's passed down by heritage or an abnormality in their upbringing, such as neglect, bullying, or abuse. For someone to commit this sort of crime, they have to be in a certain state of mind, or mens rea. Mens rea can be referred to as the general intent to break the law or specific premeditated plan to commit a particular offense. An example of criminals who had kidnapped or killed are Larry Hall and Kenneth McDuff. They were suspected of being involved with not only the Angela Hammond case, but plenty of others like the abduction of Lori Deppies in Wisconsin in 1992, Tricia Reitler's disappearance, and the killings of 16-year-old Edna Sullivan, her boyfriend 17-year-old Robert Brandt, and Robert's cousin 15-year-old Mark Dunham. These 2 were possible suspects because during the Angela Hammond kidnapping case, investigators said some facts lined up. They were both in the area in 1991, and also there is somewhat of a similarity between this kidnapping and those they had committed before. These 2, however, were dismissed as suspects because there was no actual evidence that led them to being the ones who committed it. According to Sigmund Freud, what leads a person to become a killer or a psychopath is the environment in which they were raised. This is shown with both Kenneth McDuff and Larry Hall. The way that Larry shows these qualities is that he was bullied as a child and wants to feel in control and dominant compared to others. Another thing is the fact that he was a juvenile bedwetter, which is one of the factors of the McDonald triad, also known as the triad of psychopathy or the homicidal triad, which is a set of 3 factors that has been suggested. If all 3 or any combination of 2 are present together, it could predict or be associated with later violent tendencies, particularly with relation to serial killing. Freud's theory is shown by McDuff because when you look at his upbringing, he had a bad influence by his mother, who had anger issues and was very controlling. Though the criminal mind may not help solve the Angela Hammond case, it is important to profile suspects because it may result in new leads. In conclusion, Angela Marie Hammond is still missing. This case is still open and unsolved. Her friends and family, including Rob Schaefer and her parents, still do not have closure. At this point, they probably have little hope left. They are most likely still hoping that she will come home one day, but she would now be 47 years old. We can only hope that one day this mystery will be solved.